Hey, Clutter Warrior. Let's talk about living in the and. In in so many conversations that I have with people here when we're talking about decluttering and simplifying one's life, people often will say something and then interject a but into the conversation. And it always catches my ear because it completely negates everything that they've just said, right? If you say, I love you, but, well, then do you love me? Uh, I'm really sorry, but are you sorry? So, so I find that this idea of inserting a but as a pivot point is really problematic. And what I always think back to, and I do mean always, what I always think back to is my improv training, where one of the first rules we learned was never say no, always say yes and. So when you're doing improvisational theater, when you're playing games in the theater, which is basically all the theater is anyway. Uh, Formal games, sometimes games with scripts, but it's all about playing and letting yourself play. So instead of saying, if somebody says, particularly if you're doing an improv exercise, and somebody says, hey, what's that ditch you're digging? And your response is, that's not a ditch. You just shut down all of the forward momentum. So you would be much better off saying, yeah, I'm digging a ditch to create greater water flow on my farm. And when it's all done, we should be able to grow 10 million more pounds of crops, right? It's always a yes and. You want to build on whatever somebody puts in the middle of the room. And so I think about that when it also comes to our organizing. If you are unconsciously stopping yourself, if your sentences are filled with blah, 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 but, blah, 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 but, why don't you look and see if you can start to practice catching yourself there and pivoting that but into an and. What we also like to do here is but slash and. So if you need to say the but, at least put a slash after it and then slap the and in there as a way to build the momentum and build the behavior for yourself so that you're not going someplace and then abruptly stopping and interrupting your flow. It's just what I know to be true is that you will make much greater progress if you can stay in the and get out of the but. That's all I want to share with you today. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll look forward to being back with you again real soon.